Hello, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
I am good. So, right hook Roxy, but your real name is Ivana Ver. You got that last name pronunciation for us?
My name is actually Iyana Verduzco.
Oh, Iyana.
Yeah.
Iyana. Okay. So obviously we all know you as Right Hook Roxy. So
Yeah.
can you tell us how'd you get your nickname?
So my nickname started around when I was about maybe 12. I was fighting an amateur fight, and I've always threw the right hook. I'm a lefty, so I've always threw the right hook, and it's always landed. That's one of my, I think, my strongest punches. And one day, people were just like, "Throw the right hook, Roxy! Throw the right hook!" And my mom's like, "Wait a minute, that actually sounds good." So we kind of just stuck with it ever since I was fighting the amateurs, and it stuck with me for a while. Everyone knows me as Right Hook Roxy.
So what got you into the sport? Because that sounds very young. How did a female end up in boxing so young?
So I've been fighting or boxing since the age of 4 years old. I've always been in the gym. I'm a fourth generation fighter. My uncle was a kickboxer. My family was involved in martial arts. I stuck with the boxing, started legally fighting at 8 years old. And from then, I've just been doing this, 16 years now?
Wow. Any breaks in between?
Yes, recently I did take a break during COVID. No, I think everybody took a break. After the Olympic trials, I kind of just decided, you know what, I need to figure out what I need to do with my life and things like that because I was in boxing so long that it really bubbled me from the outside world because I was always just training, training, gym, home, gym, home. I never really got to see anything. And I wanted to experience different things. I was like, I stopped for a little bit and I was like, you know what? I need to go back because I don't feel the same. I'm hungry for it again, and I recently started training again, like about a year already. So I'm really excited to get back in the ring.
So, what was the decision to go professional though? Because we've seen declarated amateur females specifically not turn professional and go for the gold or just continue to fight as an amateur. I mean, the name that sticks out, I want to say, is Christina Cruz, even though I know she turned pro recently, but like she stood in the amateurs forever. So, what was your decision?
Well, I love Christina Cruz, first of all. She's a really nice lady. I decided to go pro because, first off, they're not going to have the Olympics in 2028. Boxing is done for the Olympics. So there's no reason for me to keep staying. Another thing is, money wise, like I can get titles, I could get bouts, I can move up in the rankings. I'm excited about the no headgear, a few more rounds than 3 rounds in 3 minutes. It's a lot different. I love the amateurs. It was really good for me. I got a lot of experience. I racked up a lot of titles and my resume's there. It's just, amateur boxing wasn't for me no more. I just decided to turn pro because it's something that I've been waiting to do and I finally did it. I gave my shot in the Olympic trials, everything. I tried everything and then COVID happened. So at that point I was like, you know what? I'm just going to turn pro. There's no reason for me to keep staying here.
So, what was your decision to go with Black Prime? Because I'm sure with your amateur background, all of your accolades, there has to be a lot of promoters seeking you out. It seems, or you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like you're independent at the moment.
Yes, yes. I am independent at the moment because I don't feel like signing with anybody just right now. I feel like I can move myself on different platforms and get my name out there in different types of, you know, you got Top Rank, you got BLK Prime, you have what, Dazn, like things like that. I wanted to be all around so I can step my foot in every door and be like, okay, this is what I'm showing. This is who I am. I decided to go with BLK Prime because, they gave me a better opportunity. I'm going to be fighting on pay per view. That's something that not a lot of people on a pro debut happen to be able to do. And I'm excited they gave me that opportunity. And just, I decided to stay with them, especially the time frame. It's one of the shows that I'm getting ready for, and it's a perfect timing for me to be able to fight on this day, February 25th. So yeah, I stood with BLK Prime because they're the ones that gave me the best opportunity in this very moment.
Now, obviously, you're going to be on the Adrian Broner card in Atlanta. Is that a location that you've been to in the past? Have you fought there as an amateur? And are you excited to fight in Atlanta because, Tank does extremely well in Atlanta?
Yes, I'm excited to fight in Atlanta. I've actually never been there, maybe to the airport, but that's about it. So it's something new to me. I feel like the fans out there are really going to show out. I heard they're a very fun and good crowd to be around. And, like you said, Tank has done very well in Atlanta. I feel like boxing does have a name out there, and I feel like the people out there are going to be very kind.
Absolutely. Now, I am excited about your fight. You chose to debut with a person that has one win, one draw, where, we usually see the opposite of that. We usually see someone get in there with a person that either is debuting themselves or, has a losing record. What was the mindset in taking on a female with a decent record?
Well, I'm out there to make a statement for sure. It's a pay-per-view fight. You want to make it look good as much as possible for the people and the fans, and I feel like it's a fair fight. She is from here, the United States, so it does bring a lot of advantage for her as well because she has fans out here as well, and I'm excited because it's something that not everyone does, and I just want to make the pay-per-view and the show look good. I want this to look really good.
So this was more Roxy and not the promotion or the commission. Because sometimes the commission knows you're too good of an opponent and they make you fight an even better opponent.
Yes, that is very true. They have to take in consideration is my pro debut, and there is some people that throw them in there with dogs, and I'll fight whoever. I'm not afraid of nobody. I've been here for a really long time. So for me, it didn't really matter who I fought. I know I'm gonna do good regardless. I have confidence in myself, so I let them choose. It was actually kind of hard to find an opponent, even though it's my debut. Google's so easy. You can just search somebody up and automatically they're there. And it was very difficult to find an opponent. We actually found one that's pretty decent, and I'm excited about it.
So who is your trainer?
So my trainer is my mother, Gloria Alvarado. She's been training me since I was in diapers, and she has a really good, she has world champions, she has fighters, she has professional fighters. She's been with me all of the amateurs. She's got me to where I am, and a lot of people are surprised. But yes, my mother is my trainer.
But surprised why? I mean, because the first thing you said was she has world champions. So my antennas was up, and I was ready for the follow up question: who are her champions?
So she has Yocasta Valle.
Oh
Uh,
wow, I know
yes,
her. I was just in Acapulco with her.
yes, that is my mom's fighter. She has
Oh
Alon
wow,
Garcia fighting also on this card, on this pay per view
who?
card. Alan Garcia, he's fighting on the BLK Prime card as well. Kid Kansas. And she's been around a lot of world champions. For example, we had Ricardo Rodriguez, Fernando Vargas. She's been around a lot of, world champions. And so yeah, Yocasta Valle is one of her world champions.
That's pretty amazing, Roxy. I mean, if you can really remain focused, you guys will make history. I don't think there's been a mother daughter champion. I mean, the closest we had was Dennis Douglan and his mother. There's not a lot of female trainers on the high level as professionals. That's pretty cool. Is that one of your ambitions? That you and your mother equally get inducted into the Hall of Fame because you got Jack Mosley and Shane Mosley, just so many father son duos. But what you guys are doing hasn't really been seen.
Yes, I'm excited. I plan on doing that with my mother. She's been there my whole life, and I want nothing for the best of her as well because she's always wanted what's best for me, and I want what's best for her. And for us to be in the Hall of Fame, man, that would really turn heads.
Oh, that's amazing. That's definitely something to work towards. So I got a couple of questions from the people. Ruin the 504, which is New Orleans, says, "What's your mindset going into your pro debut?"
My mindset for my pro debut, I haven't fought in a little while, so I'm not nervous. I'm just anxious, and I know there's going to be a lot of people watching. It is on pay-per-view, so my mindset is get in there, do my job, do what I've been trained for. I've had so much on my resume, so many years in this boxing that I can't let that get to me. And for me, it's getting in there and shining. Doing what I'm supposed to do, making women's boxing proud.
What is your nationality?
So my dad is from Mexico, and I'm Spanish and Native American.
Okay. All right. All right. We have another one from Houston. Brandon says, "Ryan versus Tank. How does that fight play out?"
I can't even tell you about that because it's a really good fight. Tank is very powerful, very strong. Ryan is very fast. You don't see those punches coming. So it's kind of like a situation because if Tank's coming in there with a really strong punch and Ryan just comes with a fast boom, he can knock him out. Or, Gerante could come with one of those really famous uppercuts he has. So for me, it's like a situation.
And you're going to be fighting in the bantamweight division as a professional?
Flyweight.
Oh, flyweight. Oh. You fought in bantam as an amateur, though, right?
Yes, I did fight in bantam. Maybe down the line I will be dropping more weight. I just want to see how this feels at this weight, and after that, I probably most likely will be dropping down.
To be clear, flyweight is 112.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, 126.
Oh, featherweight. So you're fighting
Yes,
at featherweight.
it's early in
Okay.
the morning.
No worries, no worries. All right, well that makes it things better because there's more. You're closer to the bigger names, and in
Yeah.
women's boxing, we all know. I mean, look at Ebony Bridges in her fourth fight; she got a world title shot. Um, and there's a lot of other females that get opportunities a lot quicker because of the amount of women per division. Is that something you're excited about, or do you plan because of your age to take a slower route?
Exactly. My weight class, there is a lot of wonderful women in my weight class and weight classes under me as well. And I've seen that they get really good opportunities in the 4 fights, 5 fights. For me, I want to make a statement. So when I get that title shot, I'm going to go for it. It doesn't matter how many fights I have because I do have a lot of experience in this already. That, I'm not really afraid, or I'm confident. I'm not, cocky about it. I'm just confident that it's something that I'm willing to do regardless of how many fights I have. So whenever that opportunity is given to me, I'm going to take it.
So, you being a southpaw, was that natural or by design?
So I'm a dextric. I write with my right and I play all my sports with my left. Even as a kid, I've always been a lefty. So it's kind of weird. I try to be righty and it just doesn't work for me. I can switch up when I want to, but again, I eat with my right and I write with my right and I play sports with my left. So it's just a mix of both.
Has that given you an advantage mentally or physically in the ring? Because some people, like to say that they're orthodox fighters, like they complain that oh, it's not easy to get southpaw sparring, like because there's obviously a lot more orthodox fighters than southpaws, so that may put you at an advantage.
Yes, being a lefty does have its advantages and disadvantages. Again, when people are fighting and they're righties fighting another righty, they don't want to spar me because they don't need lefty work. And that sometimes messes up with my sparring because no one wants to spar me because I'm a lefty. And as for fighting, it gives me an advantage because, again, not that many people fight lefties and it's hard on them. And my angles and my punches come from different angles. And then it's a disadvantage sometimes when you're fighting another lefty because both of us are, in a sense, confused. Like, whoa, there's another lefty. It's like a righty, and our punches are coming from different angles. So it has its advantages and disadvantages, to be honest.
And are there any specific southpaw fighters that you like to watch, being as though you're a southpaw, or is your style all your own and has just developed itself in the gym?
One of my favorite fighters is Lomachenko and Rigondeaux. Rigondeaux because of his footwork. Lomachenko, he is a lefty, and I learned a lot of angles from him. And especially when I was in the amateurs, his amateur style was, really great. No one could really touch him. And like for example, he went on his pro debut. He fought like someone very recognized, and he did a really amazing job. So like as a lefty, I look up to him a lot, and my style comes from different fighters in general. I like to mix it up. I don't like to be just one dimensional fighter. I can be a boxer and I can be a brawler as well.
Absolutely. Um, so I wanted to ask, obviously you have your mom in the corner. Who's gonna be your cut? Do you have a cut woman or a cut man for this fight? And do we know them?
I'm not really quite sure yet about that. My mom usually figures that out. She figures out everything. So that I quite don't know yet.
For sure, for sure. I mean, probably not expecting to get cut. That would be horrible. So, do you consider yourself to have power? Are you a boxer puncher or a boxer?
See, in the amateurs, I was very just boxer puncher. I was more moving around. Now in the pros, you have a little bit more time. You have more rounds to figure things out. In general, I am very strong. That I, I'm a tough girl. I'm very strong, so that already is natural for me. Moving around, I have good footwork, so it's a mix of both. Like I had previously said, I'm a boxer and I can be a brawler depending on who I'm fighting and how they are as a fighter.
Touching back on that sparring, are you sparring females or males? Because again, not only are you a southpaw, but being a female, there's just a less pool of women compared to the men. So, are you forced to fight men spar men? Excuse me.
Yes. Before in the amateurs, I used to spar boys all the time my whole life because there wasn't really that many girls around. As I got older, the girls started popping up from here, there, everywhere. So I'm able to find female sparring, and it's really good. Sometimes it is tough because either they're not fighting or they're working or they just don't want to spar a lefty in general. So it's kind of tough to find sparring, but I do find female sparring now.
And that sparring, are you doing 2 minutes or 3 minute rounds in practice?
Right now, I'm doing 2 minutes to get adjusted because, again, the amateurs is 3 minutes when I was fighting, and right now it's less time. As a 2 minute rounds, you have less time and it's more punches you pretty much have to throw because the time is cut short. So I've been sparring 2 minutes, and here and there, I'll do a 3 minute round just to get my cardio going.
And that's what I was gonna ask. Have you just dialed it to 2 minutes to get acclimated, or was the whole 8 weeks 2 minutes?
So yeah, the sparring was 2 minutes, and then sometimes I'll be training at 3 minutes. It just to work on my cardio as well, so I don't get tired out after 2 minutes.
And what's your thoughts on the difference between men and women doing 2 minutes and 3 minute rounds? I've been to a lot of the WBC conventions. It's been something that some of the women in boxing want to change. Some of you want 3 minute rounds. I would say the other half wants 12 rounds for 2 minutes. Where do you fall at, or do you not have an opinion because you haven't had your pro fight yet?
Well, I definitely have an opinion about that. I believe we should have 3 minutes, just like the men. It's unfair because a lot of times you see men talking about, oh, women are not knocking out other women. Well, if you want to see a knockout, give us 3 minutes because the 2 minutes is cut so short, and the men usually knock out other men on the third minute. It's really, you see it all the time, and men complain like, or just everybody in general, oh, how come there's no knockouts in women's boxing? First off, you guys did have us in bigger gloves to start off, and then the 2 minutes, it's too short. You need 3 minutes. That gives us a big advantage to be able to do something in there.
So again, being at the convention, there are some people, and I want to say Mauricio Suleiman himself is one of those that believe by women having 2 minutes, it forces the action because they're cut 1 minute, so you guys are forced to fight. I believe exactly what you said, but how do you feel about that train of thought that it's less time, so you guys are forced to, be all action packed?
I really don't think it makes like a difference because the women are gonna think, oh, it's just 2 minutes. Let me take my time the first minute and the second minute I'll go off. It's they're still gonna have the same mentality. 2 minutes makes it more pressure, like, like I don't want to throw because I don't want to throw wrong, but I have to throw. But it's not really forcing anybody because fighters are still going to have what they want in their head. They're still going to fight the way they're going to fight. It's just our time is cut short to show what we are capable of doing. If that's the case, why don't men have 2 minutes so they can force the fight? Because you see 3 minute rounds where men are just there, doing nothing. So,
Absolutely.
regardless, ways.
You're right about that. They probably do need to give some of these men some 2-minute rounds to force the action. Maybe the heavyweights too. Even though we always more likely get knockouts at the heavyweight division, it kind of drags out depending who's fighting. But
Yes.
Roxy, those are all my questions. I wanna, don't want to wish you luck because Canelo kind of ruined that for everyone saying luck is for the mediocre. But we want to hope you get the win. And I hope that your debut is exactly, how you and your mom planning. And we would love to get your mom on as well, because I would love that story. But thank you for coming on. Please give out any social media, any ticket information. Use our platform.
Yes. So, as you guys know, I'm Right Hook Roxy. I will be fighting on blkprime.com on pay per view. You guys can purchase the fight in the link in my bio on my Instagram at Right Hook Roxy. So my bio is right there. Click the link and you can purchase my fight for February 25th on BLK Prime under the Broner card.
All
There
right,
it is.
champ. Well, thank you so much, and we appreciate you coming on. Can't wait to get you back on after the big win so you can do your victory lap.
Thank you guys. Thank you for having me so much. I appreciate it. Good morning to everybody.
Thank you. All right, there you have it.
What up, YouTube family? Don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Help us get to that 1,000,000 subscribers. We're on the road to 1,000,000. And obviously, we have other great content on our Patreon channel. So since this video is over, head on over to our Patreon and check out all the exclusive content or right here on our YouTube members.